Okay, welcome to Miss Snook's Anatomy, Biology, and AP Biology classes. So I decided to do your classroom procedures on a video cast today rather than have you sit through them, as you're probably going through 6 hours of procedures and that's kind of boring, and I would rather do science. So let's get going. Things you're going to need for this class: your planner. You need that for every class. You need something to write with. We're going to write every single day. You need a binder, anatomy and AP Bio. You want big binders. I'm a tree killer. We're going to have so much resource. So we're going to use lots and lots of papers. You're going to want at least a 3-inch binder. Biology, you can do a little bit smaller binder. 2-inch is fine. Maybe even a 1-inch. You want a spiral bound notebook because you're going to turn this notebook in from time to time and you'll not get it back for a few days. You want to only use it for my classes. Flashcards are a huge help for learning new terms. Anatomy, you're in a second language now. Sternocleidomastoid, gastrocnemius. How are you going to remember what those words are, what they do? It's memorization. So flashcards are huge help for memorization. AP Biology, you're going to learn so many words, it's crazy. So though we're not like testing your knowledge of what that word means, we're going to need to be able to use those words in order to discuss them. And so in order to discuss them, you have to understand what they are. Colored pencils, we're going to color like we're in kindergarten anatomy. So you definitely want a box of colored pencils. And then the other classes, you might want some just for graphing and for doing different like microscope drawings or things like that. General rules are rules that are expected all across the campus. So in the handbook, pages 18 through 21 covers generic rules of how a student should behave appropriately. Consequences, detentions, phone calls home, ISS. I hate phone calls home, so please don't make me call home. And I'm sure you would not enjoy ISS either. I have page 18 through 21, though I know that they updated the handbook this summer, so I'm not sure if those page numbers have changed. So some common knowledge type: respect yourself, your others, as in your peers, and your school. Hands to yourself. Don't mess with other people's materials. Speak nicely about yourself. Speak nicely about others. Phones in this class are fine for educational purposes, such as your calendar, a note list, taking pictures of slides, taking pictures of labs or activities you've done in class, social media, texting, phone calls home, who calls from a classroom. Those are not appropriate uses of your phone during class time. So I'm going to have to take it away if you're using your phone for those purposes. So the back room is a storage room. It's a prep room for other science activities. It's not an extension of my classroom, so you're not free to just go back there. There'll be many labs going on. I teach 3 different science classes, so there could be a lab for 9th grade biology, osmosis, and then if you're an anatomy kid and you come in and you want to just sit up on the lab tables or something, you might disturb their lab. So I ask that you stay out of the lab areas when we're not using them for lab purposes. No eating or horseplay in the lab activities, and that should just make sense. We're working with hydrochloric acid, for example. That is not going to go well with either your peanut butter jelly sandwich or the insides of your stomach. Horseplay is just dangerous in the lab. We're dealing with scalpels, for example. You could cut your thumb off, your pollex, as you will, anatomy kids. And so that's just dangerous. Your attendance is super important to your success in class. So, knowledge is given in class. You're going to take part in discussions, which helps you internalize information, make sense of it. So you really, really need to be in class. I'm going to miss you. Your friends are going to miss you, so please be there. The page numbers might be different than what I've posted. Like I said, they're altering the book, but the rules are the same. If you're missing school 12 times in one semester, you're going to lose credit for your class. And I am an OCD teacher when it comes to rules, so I will be checking on your attendance. 4 unexcused absences, so nobody called in and said it was okay that Susanna was out of class. 4 unexcused absences earns a credit withheld as well. So they'll put you on an attendance contract. You can get that back, but it's just a little bit of a pain for you. Tardies, you come to class late. If you have a note from a teacher, that's fine. They were keeping you to explain something. I keep students sometimes, so I write passes too. But you're hanging out at Four Corners, you're chatting with your friends, you went out to lunch and came late. That doesn't cut it. So 3 tardies gives you an hour in school suspension. So you're going to miss my fabulous class, and I'm going to miss you. And you're going to get to sit in the office. 4 or 5 tardies, you're going to have an after-school ISS, and 6 tardies, a whole half a day spent in the office across from the hall from Mr. Wojcicki. Just you staring at the walls and your books, not talking for half a day. Boring! So be to class and be to class on time. You have been training your whole school years for this purpose so that you can enter the class in a civilized manner. During the first 10 minutes of class, I have to take attendance. That's my job. Your job is to start thinking about biology. So in the first 10 minutes, first of all, get caught up on your calendar. What's the homework for tonight? When are upcoming tests? Do you need to bring something special for a lab tomorrow? And then you're going to have some sort of bell ringer work, something that's going to get you thinking about what we're going to do today or get you reflecting on what you did yesterday. So you're ready to do science. Just like with sports, you're going to warm up. With singing, you're going to warm up before you actually do it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to warm up. So during the first 10 minutes of class, that's what we need to do. So come in, get started right away. Homework is always, always, always due the very next day. Kids ask me all the time, when is this due? We want to be able to talk about it tomorrow, so you need to do it tonight in order to be able to talk about it tomorrow. So it's always due at the beginning of class, not like finish it and then it's due. But when you walk in the door, you've had 23 hours to complete it, it's due then. So I have a pet peeve of kids trying to quickly finish something in the first 2 minutes of class. If you couldn't do it in 23 hours, how can you do it in 2 minutes? So anyways, it's due at the beginning of the hour. I'll collect it. Even if you haven't done it or you haven't completed it, I want you to turn it in anyways. This is why. If I have it, you can come back in and get full credit for it. So if you have a morning class, I need you to come in at lunch. And I know that means missing out a little on your social time. That's a choice you made when you didn't do your homework over the last 23 hours. So you can still get full credit. That's a bonus. If you have an after lunch class, classes 4 or 5, you can come in after school. Same day, turn in the assignment uncompleted, come in after school, I'll give it back to you, and then you can complete it for full credit. Again, your coaches probably aren't going to want you to miss practice. If you have practice right after school, that's more motivation to try to get it done in the 23 hours between classes. I'm going to try really, really hard to send you home with less homework this year, really trying to make class time to do class work so that you can ask questions, get help while you're here. At home, you can watch screencasts like this and do your reading, things like that. So please use your 58 minutes, use your class time for class. A lot of kids want homework just because they have to have homework. Read, study, rewrite notes, those kind of things you can do at home even if you've completed your homework in class. If you get done early, please don't use that as free time to just hang out, play games on your phone, go outside, get a tan. You're a bad influence on other people, and I need everybody's help. So if you're off task, that's going to encourage other people to be off task as well, and it's going to encourage other people to think that behavior is okay. And I'm sorry, but it's just not. We're bell to bell. We have 58 minutes to do science, and you need to be doing science. If you get done early, I don't mind if you do other productive things like work on math work, English, read a book, do other appropriate school-related studies. I do pretty good at posting everything in Google Classroom. So I'm going to put what we did for the day, the lecture, any handouts that we have. Some handouts that might not have a digital form, and I'm going to try to make more digital forms this year. So anything that you're missing when you're absent, you can get from Google Classroom. Or if you didn't get it while you were gone, you could always get it after the fact. Excused absence work must be made up within the same number of days as you were absent. So if you were gone for 2 days, you have 2 days to make it up. Getting on Google Classroom the day that you're absent, like while you're actually at home, And getting that work done helps you get caught up so much more quickly, and you'll come back to class feeling like you haven't skipped a beat. On the front lab table, I have a metal basket, and that is where you will put any makeup work that you have to turn in yet. Please write absent and the date that you were absent on that paper so that I know what to do with the assignment. If you missed a lab or a test, things get a little bit trickier. Lab work, I want you to complete that lab within 2 days. You can come in after school to complete the lab, or you can simply get the data from somebody else. And when I say data, I simply mean the numbers. What were the measurements that we took in class? It's your responsibility to then work with that information, make sense of those numbers, interpret them, and find trends, whatever it is you need to do. Otherwise, you're going to get the test. I always ask questions about the labs we did in class on tests. You're going to get the test and you're going to write, I wasn't here for the lab. And I'm going to think, oh, I just wasted my eyeballs' energy reading that little bit of information, because you're responsible for it. That's why you need to be in class. Let's go back to the importance of being in class. But by working with the numbers, you're still going to understand what happened. So that's your responsibility. Tests or quizzes, if you miss, say, the day of the test or quiz, I expect you to take that test or quiz the day you get back. So you missed Tuesday and the test was Tuesday, you're taking it Wednesday. If you missed the day before the test was Tuesday, you missed Monday. If you only missed one day, I'm still expecting you to take that test on that day. Kids ask me all the time, do I have to take the test? Yes, you have to take the test. You will always know about tests in advance. You will already have your review material in advance. All we do the day before is maybe go over that review sheet, which I'm going to put online anyways. So get on Google Classroom and you'll still be able to review. If you've missed multiple days, the two of us are going to need to get together during your independent time. Not that first 10 minutes of class, right? Because I'm taking attendance and doing managerial things. But we'll get together, make up a game plan as to when you'll take that test. At the end of the hour, the bell will ring. I will dismiss you. Please don't run out as soon as you hear that bell. It's going to kind of hurt my feelings, make me think you're anxious to get out. But also, I might have some last-minute reminder for you, some last-minute piece of information. So I dismiss you, not the bell. Check your desk area. It needs to be clean. If we've gotten out materials, please be sure to put them back. It's not a big deal for you to put back one box of crayons, but for me, after 5 hours, to put back 30 boxes of crayons is a lot of work. So everybody does their own part. That's part of going back to that respect yourself, respect others, respect the room. So be sure to clean up after yourself. Check the floor. Sometimes crayons, markers get put there. Somebody walks in the next hour, steps on it, and now I have it all across my floor. If you leave papers behind, I'm going to throw them away because I don't have time to file and look up people and get them back to you. The sinks are for water. That's it. Chemicals, but they're not trash containers, so please don't put pop cans and papers and things like that in there. And when we do labs, they don't have a garbage disposal, so skin, scraps, muscles, things like that do not go in the sink either. If you have to leave class during class, your hall pass is your planner, so carry that with you at all times. Please use that during independent work time, not during my lecture. That's just rude. And you're going to miss important information, and then you're not going to know it on the test. Use your pass time during the 5 minutes in between classes. Use that wisely. If you're asking to go to the restroom every single day, I'm going to start saying no. So try to limit your hall passes at the most once a week. If it gets to be a problem, I give you 2 passes for the whole marking period. Visit teachers, the office, the counselors, all that jazz on your own time, not during our 58 precious minutes. All 3 classes have similar grading scales. The only difference is with assessments and homework. So anatomy and biology, 50% of your marking period grade is based on tests and quizzes and projects. With AP Bio, 65% of your grade is based on tests. Homework is the other place they're different. 25% of the marking period grade for anatomy and biology is based on homework, whereas in AP Biology, only 10% of your grade is based on homework. And that's because it's a college level class, and in college, they're not grading your homework. 22% of your grades are based on labs, and 3% is based on your ability to be a good kid and meet these expectations. Over on the right, these grades are the same all throughout the high school. So 40, 40, 20 makes up your semester scores.